continuing down the discussion of our leadership in ministry in the local church as we move closer to the mid part of our semester in this course, getting toward the second half of we focus on administration. I hope you're tracking well. I just want to remind you to stay on top of your syllabus, stay on top of assignments that are coming to you. You need to continually be reminded the facilitator of this course, another professor is going to be guiding you in this conversation. They're going to be helping you understand what we're talking about here. And so be sure you've downloaded that syllabus. Be sure you don't fall into the trap of having dates wrong with assignments. Just be sure that you're clearly focused on when exams happen, when papers are due, when discussion boards are taking place. So just be sure you're on top of what is happening in the ministry here of this course. What are key traits for an effective leader to possess? There are key traits that we need to have. Isaiah 42 shows a pattern of leadership and dependence on God and how God delights in you and modesty. And Jesus avoided opportunities to call attention to himself, empathy, perseverance, anointing. Those are some takeaways in a pattern of leadership that you might be compelled. You know, there's always been this conversation, it seems, in the past few decades of what is a manager and what is a leader. And there's this level that a 6 can't lead an 8. And if you're an 8, you can lead 7, 6s, 5s, you know, in this category of people's leadership and all those kind of things. There's just some things that are unpacked this week in the conversation of a manager versus a leader. Because a leader is going to deal with the direction. It's going to deal with what we're planning, where we're striving, where we're going, how we're accomplishing the mission. A manager is going to deal with the speed in which we get there. A leader deals with the vision, always keeps the mission in sight, motivating the people to work. For the manager is going to deal with establishing a structure for it to take place. It may be that during this section of the course this week, you realize you may be more of a manager than you are a leader. You may realize you're more of a leader than you are a manager. But in ministry, we're having to wear both hats. Some days we're having to manage it through the structure. Some days we're having to set the direction. Some days we're having to set the speed. And so I think you're going to be dealing with managing and leading at some point in your roles in ministry. But no, you're going to be led more toward one than the other. Many people in your church are going to have to discern who the leaders are and who the managers are. But you want mutual respect because you need both people to make it happen. It's where team leadership comes into play. We teach a course here that's an elective, leading team-based ministry. It might be a course that you're interested in, especially if you're struggling with leading people, volunteers, and staff, that you really need to go a higher level that we're going to be able to go in this overview. But having many people in the organization take responsibility and sharing the leadership is what you do with creating a team culture around you. You need people that are gifted, that are committed, that are going to allow the group to not have confusion, distrust, disunity, but move ahead to be who God's called you to be, to accomplish what he's calling you to do. So you need to just understand some principles that are unpacked in this unit. Be sure you walk through that. The Jethro principle is going to be coming in your assignments that are due. You know that's the embedded learning assignment with the grading rubric from our overview video. But there are some aspects in this PowerPoint of the principles of delegation set aside by Jethro. We'll talk about delegation later on in administration as well and dealing with your administration of the work of the church. There's also some sidelines in this unit as well that deal with stress. There are also some sidelines that deal with some characteristics of an effective leader. Whether you're committed to God, where your service is, to have a sense of responsibility for service and contribution to others, to strongly define a sense of vision and able to clearly articulate it. So the vision has to be shared, it has to be meaningful, and it has to make sense to the people who are involved. So there's some effective leadership characteristics. These all come together as well as many other characteristics that we unpack this week for an effective leader to just help you have this lens you need as you walk through the ministry God has called you to, as you lead the people he has called you to lead, putting a team around you. And so I hope that you're able to walk away with some key traits for an effective leader to possess. You may even want to write down your own definition or your own bullet point list of what an effective leader looks like in your ministry or what you think that would look like for you. Hope you're having a great week as you journey through church leadership and administration.